Assalamualaikum and hi to everyone. Thank you for watching this video. Welcome back to my channel. Hopefully everyone in the right way, in the right path, and still able to adapt with this kind of learning method. So in this video, we will discuss about the web evolution. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. So what is the web evolution? Means we go back in order to learn what is the history of the web. Okay, basically we have three generation of web. The first one we call as web 1.0, and then followed by web 2.0, and then followed by web 3.0. The difference between these generations, when we look back at the web 1.0, the technologies there are based on the read only. We share the information, we share the resources in the static document, static HTML. We use the passive page, web page. Okay, we call as the read-only web, web of document, web of cognition. We only share the informations. No interactive between the users, the human, the peoples, and the web itself. That's the era of the web 1.0. Okay, the following generation, we have web 2.0. So this generation known as web of communication. It's not only for read, but we also can write on the web. So web 1.0, we only read. Web of document, a lot of document, a lot of information sharing through the website, through the web, through the internet. The second generation, we have two-way communication. We can read and we can write. The user of web can read the information and they also can share the information. Have the interactive interaction between the people, between the human and the web. And the third generation, known as Web 3.0, known as Web of Cooperation. We have read, write, and execute. It's more on the analytical. It's more on the data harvest of data, analysis of the data, process the data. Okay, so basically in the web generation, the first generation it's only share the information, known as read web, read only. Second, read and write, involve the interaction between the human and the web. The third one, we can read, we can write, and the web have the app capability in order to execute or process something that known currently as the artificial intelligence in the web. So that's the introduction of the web generation. So let's go one by one in deeply. Okay, web 1.0 being introduced in 1990s, around 1990s, late of 1990s, most of 1991s. It being introduced by the Sir Tim Berners-Lee. Okay, the purpose of this web 1.0 to broadcast the information, to share the information all around the world using the internet. And then the web during that time is a static and monodirectional model. And it's static and based on the monodirectional model only, we can share the information. One-way communication. And during that time, we have the technology that we call as the web information retrieval or web IR, but only using the search engine. Through the search engine, we can identify the information. We can do searching of information. And it's based on the HTML, HTTP protocol, and the URL. The combination of the HTML, HTTP, and the URL, then we come out with a website or web 1.0 technology. Okay, the next generation, we have web 2.0. This web is coined or founded by Tim O'Reilly in 2004, 2003, something like that. Okay, it involves people on the content and contributor. So that's mean in web 2.0, people are allowed, enable to contribute on the information, moving from the passive consumption of the content. Instead of we just read all the information, now you can collaborate. Now people can interact with the website. So advantages for this part, we can pull the information from this one is from number of several places or resources, and we also can have the democratic of using the internet. Okay, internet become a true democratic. Not only share the information or provide the information, but in the same time also can get the information, have the collaboration with the people that using the web or internet. And because of people can interact with the web, so it leads to another issue of the security, because people can share everything. People can share their ideas. People can share their personal informations. Okay, this era of Web 2.0 is the era of Friendster, Facebook, MySpace, Hi-Fi. Okay, that are the era of Web 2.0, where during that time people are moving to another generation of web, which allow them to share, which allow them to voice out their ideas. Okay, example of the web 2.0, we have blogging. Blogging is like a diary. You can share information about your personal life. You can share information on certain interested topic. For example, if you love photography, then you create a blog on the photography. You can discuss about the camera using the blog. So the famous one, we have the Blogger and WordPress. Okay, another one we have the Technority and Extra. A lot of blog that we can use in order to share our information. Okay, the next one we have social networking sites. So social networking site, we have Facebook, we have Friendster, we have MySpace, Hi-Fi, and Extra. That are the social networking sites. You can read the data, you can read the information. In the same time, you also can collaborate. You also can contribute. You also can share your information. You can share the pictures, you can share video, you can share text, you can share document. And then the next one we have podcast. Example, we have iTunes. Podcast is combination of the based on the broadcast. Audio and video you can share through the podcast part. And then we have the wikis. We have Wikispace, we have Wikipedia, we have PBWiki, and we have a lot of wiki. So multiple people try to contribute using this kind of platform. Okay, another part we have the microblogging. Example of microblogging is Twitter. You only allow to share certain word. Okay, and then we have the social bookmarking, dig and authority. Bookmark. You can use your blogger. You can go for your browser, and then it has the bookmark. But we also have the another web application that allow you to do social bookmarking. And then e-portfolio or a platform of online education, e-learning, island, new feature, example of the web 2.0. Okay, the next generation is web 3.0. So in this generation, we talk about the web of data. We talk about the analytic of data, analysis of data, execute the process of data, artificial intelligence. It based on the semantic web technology and provide a framework that allow data to be shared, used among the community. And the core of semantic web technologies include 4 components. Explicit, okay, this one is component, explicit metadata, ontologies, logic model, and software agent. So language that reflect on this component, we have XML, and then from the XML, we need to use the DTD, data type definition, and document type definition, and then we move to the RDF, and then we have the RDF graph in order to describe the object, predicate, and the subject. And then from the RDF, we have the RDFS, and then we have the sparkle in order to query the data. Okay, we have the sparkle, and based on the client and server architecture. Okay, for explicit metadata, okay, it based on the semantic architecture. So this one is the semantic architecture. Okay, we have the user interface, we have the trust, the proof station, okay, unifying the logic. So these are the component. We have the ontologies, component of the semantic web. We have the ontologies, we have the metadata, explicit metadata, we have the logic module and software agent in order to interact. So explicit metadata captures part of the meaning of data. So we use the metadata in order to identify what is the meaning of the data. So we use the XMLs to represent the data. So easy to understand because the structure of the XML using the text name. Okay, let's say we have the header in bracket header, and then we have close the bracket of header using the tag tag. But the XML does not provide semantic machine formation. So we introduce the document type definition, DTD. Okay, we have XML, and then we have DTD. So based on this part, it will move to another XML DTD, another one, RDF. Okay, RDF, resource description framework. Why RDF is being introduced? Because metadata is restricted within the document and not across to the document. So we need another solution being introduced. So we introduce a RDF, the Resource Description Framework. So RDF is a standard that issued by the W3C, the organization that handle the World Wide Web. Okay, it is an XML application and being defined using the DTD. And then after the RDF can be represented using the RDF graph in order to identify where is the subject, where is the predicate, and where is the object. And then after that, we have Resource Description Framework Scheme, RDFS. So using this framework scheme, it's allow for the definition of classes, properties inside the classes, okay, the restriction, the rules, and the structure of the RDF resources. So in RDFS vocabulary, it has class such as RDFS class. It use the concept of class, define the abstract of object, the properties of the class, the literal, the resources, the subclass of. Okay, example of the RDFS. Okay, let's say we have university, and then inside the university as a class, and then university offer a regular course and part-time course. So regular course and part-time course become the subclass of the university as class. So university has a subclass, and regular course, example of regular course, it may be Bachelor of Technology. So the RDFS or type for the regular class is become the Bachelor of Technology. And then it also can have the relationship with another stuff, university and stuff. So basically, XML, RDFS is try to make it web or machine understand on how to arrange the subject, the predicate, when it try to explain with the web technology. And then inside that component also, it use the Sparkle, the protocol SPARQL, the protocol and RDF query language. This one in order to search the data, the information. That part for the metadata. And then we have the ontologies. Ontologies is used to standardize the concept and the relationship between the metadata. So we take the term of ontology based on the philosophy. The term is borrowed from the philosophy, where the ontology is a systematic account of existence. Okay, there are several components in the ontology, and under the web, we have the web ontology language that known as OWL. OWL is the web ontology language in order to express the ontologies. Okay. Components and model in ontologies are classes, So classes, it represent the concept which describe the attributes and name values. Okay, we describe the class based on the attribute and name. And then another component, we have the relations. So this is the special attribute for the object of a class. We have class, and class have an object, and then we have the relationship. And then instance refer to the object. It describe the individual of an ontology. And then relation and attribute constraint or rules can be defined that determine allow the values. These are the component under the ontologies. And then we have the classes, relation, and constraint of the object. The special case, we have formal, which describe knowledge and cannot be expressed simply with the help of existing component. That part we call as special case, the component inside the ontologies. So we have classes, relations, instance, for relation and attribute constraint or rules, classes, relation, and constraints as a statement or assertion, and special case. There are four type of ontologies. We have the top level of ontologies known as the upper ontologies or foundation of the ontologies. And then we have the domain ontologies. The domain define the concept that related to the specific domain. And then we have task ontologies. They define the concept related to the general activity or task. Okay, the task ontology, it describe the concept or the activities or the tasks. And then the fourth one, we have the application ontologies. These application ontologies specialized ontologies that focus on the specialized tasks in the domain. Okay, the next component, okay, we have the logic interference. This one is the component of the semantic. We have talked about the metadata, explicit metadata, and then followed by the ontologies. Okay, you already heard about the RDF, XML, and OW, the ontologies web language. Basically, we have the XML. XML is not enough, so we introduce the RDF. RDF is not enough, so we introduce another language, OW, using the ontologies web language. Okay, the logic inference is used to specify the fact as well as the rules of web application. So we have the semantic web rule language, SWRL. So this language is proposed for the semantic web that can express the rules as well as the logic of the web. And the last component is software agent. This software agent make use of all the above components, refer to the explicit metadata, the ontologies, and the logic and rules. So the purpose of this software agent, it can collect the web content from many resources, diverse of resources, and process the information and exchange the result with another agent. That is the rules of the software agent. Okay, under web 3.0. So basically, Web 3.0 is the web semantic, and based on the semantic framework or semantic stack, it has four components: explicit data, ontologies, logic rules, and the software agent. Okay, as a summary of the web evolution, Web 1.0 starting at 1991 until 2003, almost 2004. It is based information oriented, read only web, connect people to the web by share the information. Basically, it uses the HTML and the HTTP, static web page. Web 2.0 starting at 2004 up to 2006, 2010, something like that. And then assist the interactive information during the sharing session through the web, internet, through the internet. And then it introduced about the social networking, social web application like Friendster, Facebook. People can share and contribute on the content of the web directly. Okay, under the Web 2.0, we have the XML and the RSS. And then the next generation, Web 3.0, is beginning 2006, 2010 until now. Okay, it refer to the latest version of web, the current version that we have right now. Okay, it's based on the semantic web. So under the semantic web, we have the four component: explicit metadata, ontologies, rule, logic, model, and then the software agent. And then known as the read, write, and execute web. So based on the Web 3.0, basically we talk about the artificial intelligence, how intelligent the web that we deal with. Okay, under this Web 3.0, we have the RDFS, and Ontology Web Language, OWL. So that's all for the web evolution. So the next video will discuss about the big data issues on the web. Thank you and Assalamualaikum.